So, honest question. How old were you when you were left with your siblings? We're talking your little siblings. How old were you? I think most people were probably, what, 9? Maybe 9 years old, and you were left in charge of babysitting, like what, a 5-year old and a 3-year old, if not younger. Yep, you were old enough. You were in charge. This was the way we grew up. Our parents didn't pay babysitters. At least most of ours didn't because they didn't have the money for them. So if there were multiple children, the oldest one babysat. And the funny thing is if you babysat your siblings, normally you didn't get paid for it. That was just part of your job. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember this. And don't even stop and think for 1 second when they say, hey, we're going to go out, you're going to watch your brother and sister or whatever. Don't think for a second you're going to look at them and say no, because, boy, you ain't got no other plans. And if you thought you had other plans, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have other plans. You just don't. You guys remember this. You do not have other plans. Your plans were what they just told you your plans were. Now, through the night, you would keep them from, jumping off the couch, jumping off the roof, hanging off the fridge, climbing on the counters. As you got older, we got battle weapons involved. We got pretty brutal when we got a little older, too. When we were left home alone, whoo, things got dangerous. But yeah, you didn't have other plans. You weren't going out with friends. You didn't have choices. Which is really weird to me nowadays because people, ask their kids to do things and their kids flat out tell them no. I would have been in, next month, if possibly not next year, if I had talked to my mom that way. Oh, yeah. She wasn't putting up with that. I would have been knocked into next week. And that's no lie at all whatsoever. There was no playing around. When she told you to do something, you just did it. Which is really shocking because nowadays you ask your kids to do things, they don't do it, and you go do it for them. That's the world we live in now. Amazingly enough. But anyway, guys, I thought you'd kind of like this one. If you have any stories about what happened when you watched your siblings or how old you were, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know what happened. Make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're sharing, and make sure you are liking these videos. And I will see you next time. Bye.